Hello everyone, so today we're doing a little bit of a different video, similarly different actually. So I've done a lot of director's commentaries for my project, but I've never ever done one with a Christmas special. This is the first time. There's a couple of reasons why I want to do this, and the closest I've ever done to something like this was my reaction to my old Christmas specials about 5 years ago. I rewatched them and gave my reaction. And since then, some of my reactions have remained the same because I rewatched some of them, and some of my reactions have completely changed. The stuff that I used to be a bit cringy, I actually kind of accept and like a bit now, and it's got a bit of a warmer space to my heart. So, yeah, this is the first proper commentary, really. Before I start, I just want to say a really, really genuine thank you to all the support so far on the Christmas special. I'm nearly tearing up actually. My gosh, I'm not even lying. I'm not lying either. It's been really heartwarming to see so many people enjoying it. People liking the characters, liking the story. The Christmas special, I did a live stream on it. I'm not going to go too in depth because I went pretty in depth on it yesterday when I recorded it. As of recording this video, I'll probably space the videos out a little bit, but I did a live stream which I'll link in the description below, basically addressing some concerns whether I was ending my Christmas specials. It's still very much up in the air at the moment. But if you want to check that full video out, again, in the description below, and the link to the Christmas specials in the description below, as well as End of Days Part 2. That's another film I did this year that I am really, really happy with. That took about a year. So yeah, that was great. But no, thank you very much. We're going to get into the video. I'm going to have it in low volume just because, I want you to hear me. If you want to listen to the project, then obviously you can watch it. This will contain spoilers for this Christmas special, potentially previous specials, and I'm not going to say future specials, but I'm going to be talking about sort of rounding off a lot of the character developments and how they're rounding off. So it might give you an idea of where they're going. So yeah, thank you very much. Without any further ado, let's go. Always good to add a warning here because I don't write the Christmas specials with. That's the first time I did a Christmas warning for Optimus. But I don't write the Christmas specials for, bad language. But, sometimes the characters, cast members improv, and sometimes it's too funny to not include. So, and it's like the characters have matured a little bit, or maybe dematured, depending how you look at it. They started off as, we started growing up together with cast members, and eventually, people have basically got um, more mature with the language, I guess. But essentially, what you're looking at right now is my computer that I'm sat at right now. And essentially, what's happening is obviously Mindwipe is reading scripts. He can't read very well because he's lost part of his brain thanks to, uh, let's say, letting it go in the hotel just outside on his front doorstep because he got scared so bad. He must have bashed his head or something. But yeah, Wheeljack comes along, sees the screenplay, his glasses, classic, just his hands over his eyes, the binoculars. And if you look at there, it says a Christmas special they're ending, but later on the next page, which you mind wiped saw a minute ago, you actually see everything that's happening right here.
But while I'm here, let's take a little peek at what science is sciencing in this.
And it's like Wheeljack actually knows what's actually being read, but he just wants to read it with his glasses just for dramatic effect. They're all dramatic in this.
I gotta warn everyone.
Yeah, I put Get Your Tissues Ready because I think part of this was emotional, and also the cast reaction to some of their improvs had me in tears. Jacob, if you're watching, your Scourge, that made me feel so bad, about them ending.
It would be best if we inform you immediately, boss.
Boss? Why'd you call him that? His ego is big enough already.
Got the Extreme Decepticon set in the background there. And the Decepticon throne that I got from TF Nation this year. funnily enough, Optimus sitting in it, but it kind of fits well with the Christmas special aesthetic. You know, it's purple with a base, and also it's complete opposite. Like, why would Optimus sit in Megatron's throne? He wouldn't, but in this, he's just so egotistical that he's like, yeah, I'm going to sit in the throne. But one thing people may not notice, if you look back from the 2011 Christmas special, Optimus has slowly been losing parts. While I've been filming over the years, sometimes I've lost a part and it's been in like the box and I've just not been able to find it, and then I've put it on next year or whatever. But he seems to be losing parts over the years, like a shoulder pad or a forearm guard or whatever. And yeah, he's kind of getting older a little bit. Obviously, later on, we see him really have loads of loose parts. But yeah, essentially, that first scene with Wheeljack and Mindwipe, basically Wheeljack, because I've got my printer below my computer, Wheeljack printed the script off, but on a really, really small page and read it upside down, but for some reason stapled it at the bottom so it looked like he's reading it the correct way, but he's not. And the script actually says, when you do have a look at it later, it says CS25. It was just a piece of paper with lines on it that I folded up and stapled and wrote that on it and wrote some squiggly lines. But yeah, a lot of this is pretty much word for word of what's on the script, unless we've deviated with improv or the actors did a slightly different take of the line. There's one or two lines that I cut because it didn't really fit the characters. Sandstorm was supposed to say something like, when Mindwipe gets taken, Sandstorm was supposed to say, we got to go after them and save Mindwipe. You know, I miss that purple and black Transformer already. But then I was like, I don't know, like Sandstorm, I just don't see him saying that. I get why I wrote it, and I wanted that line, but then I was also like, it don't really, at this moment in time, I don't feel Sandstorm would say that. Maybe he would, maybe it'd be a slip up, but yeah.
My Christmas dinner. Yeah. Optimus, I mean, as egotistical as you are, I don't mean to boost your ego or make my closing speech about you.
I'm going to talk about some of the character developments just while we're doing all these improv. So I'm just going to get the script up next to me.
Even if you cooked it, it would be fuel. So you ate fuel, basically.
So it really could be the farewell Christmas special. It's been a good.
I'd also like to thank Primus84 for peer reviewing this script. So a lot of the characters are rounding off now, and I mentioned in my live stream that is in the description, as I mentioned, a lot of these characters are essentially, without me trying, they are naturally rounding off, and essentially I wasn't planning to finish the specials. I wasn't trying to go in this direction, but it's just one of them things where over the years they've developed in a way, and I'm like, I can either take this to another level or I can round these characters off. Even if I do a reset where I do brand new set of characters, I could round these characters off, and if I ever pick them up again, I could leave it off where I can naturally pick them up, but if I don't, I can leave it where it's a satisfying conclusion. I also find this bit funny with Optimus when he's like, if Christmas is going to end, let it end with me, because it's like Optimus is thinking he's going to be the last improv speech, and then like Scourge just jumps in and everyone else, and it's like, oh, okay, Megatron, Ratchet, you're going to talk as well. And so I guess the writer had other plans, like Optimus said.
This is farewell from the great and mighty Scourge.
Yeah, Jacob, your speech here really got me in the heart. So I'm going to go in an order for the character developments here, and it's order alphabetical of the voice actor and then alphabetical of the character they voice. So the first one is All Hail Megatron 1000, AHM1K, as people may know him. He voices Brawn and Sideswipe. So Brawn has always sort of stayed the same, where he's the actual serious one. In 2015, 2016, sorry, when Krampus imposed Optimus Prime, Brawn and Starscream pretty much were the only ones who like picked up on it really, and they were serious enough to take the situation seriously. Everyone else was like, "Oh, you know, it's Christmas, and no, I kind of want to celebrate." And Braun was like, "No, no, no, no. Listen, guys, we gotta save Optimus. He's probably in mortal danger. He might die." And then Optimus is just like imprisoned by Krampus, but he's just talking his head off, and Krampus is like, "Oh my gosh, stop talking." So Braun's always stayed the same. Sideswipe, on the other hand, he started off as similar to Braun, but he's eventually got his own personality where he's not like egotistical like Optimus, but he's very sort of, he likes a little bit of attention, and he also likes to swear quite a lot, which I find pretty funny. He also jinxes everything, so he's jinxed multiple times. He's always like, "Oh yeah, guys, you know, if Christmas is gonna end, then a villain wouldn't just teleport here ready to destroy Christmas." And then in 2018, Evil Santa, South Pole Santa, came and like just teleported, and everyone was like, "Sideswipe, damn you!" He just jinxes everything. And in 2020, Sideswipe was like, "Hey, we had an Optimus Prime free Christmas special," because Optimus wasn't in it. And then Optimus just teleports, well, not teleports, but he kind of like enters as the ghost of Christmas Yet to Be, because that's the role he was playing. He was there all along in the background. But yeah, he entered, and then everyone's like, "Sideswipe." He just jinxes everything. And in this, Sideswipe is the same. He's like, "You know, I'll prove I don't jinx everything, because if I did, Shatterglass Ultra Magnus, Shatterglass Blaster, they wouldn't just teleport in ready to destroy Christmas." And then that's what happens. It's like, I've written Sideswipe to be that jinxer, so everyone thinks he's a jinxer, and they break the fourth wall all the time. But at the end of this, we see Sandstorm cleansing Sideswipe's aura. Because I mentioned in my live stream, I didn't want to repeat too many of the same stories. Like, I could keep doing villain boss fights where Sideswipe jinxes everything, but it's going to be the same recipe over and over. And I kind of want to reinvent some stuff and tell fresh stories, tell originality, maybe bring fresh ideas in and stuff like that. And Sideswipe just jinxes it all the time, and I feel like, I want to get that where he's cleansed essentially, and the one who can do that is Sandstorm. He cleanses his auric field, he removes any bad karma, so Sideswipe is clean now. So even if he says in the future, like, "Hey, what if this happened?" Like, it's not going to happen because he's cleansed now, unless something like possesses him and gives him some bad karma, but it's unlikely.
Jinxed everything all the time. Now I
Here we are.
The one who is writing this is cursing us all.
Uh-oh, I sense a hex about to be put on us.
Chrome Dome's the next character. So Chrome Dome, weirdly enough, I thought I had him in more specials than he was, and I was looking like 2 days ago, and he was really not in that many. I think it's because I just talk about him all the time with Derek, with his voice actor, D. Barry Audio, that I just have this sense that he's in it more than he is. But Chrome Dome started off as auditioning for Arnold Schwarzenegger in a little short video I did, which was just blooming hilarious. I'm pretty sure that was an entire improv by D. Barry Audio, and I just animated around it. And now Arnold and Terminator are both gym buddies with him. But yeah, Chrome Dome is essentially, developing where he's getting stronger, and he's got goals, let's say. I'm not going to give too much away for the future, but he's got goals that he wants to accomplish. Wheeljack is a little bit where he's sort of a bit of a jokester sometimes. He's a little bit dumb to say he's a scientist, but then he also kind of knows what's going on. Some of these characters are naturally closing. Some are not closed off yet. Like, some still have a little bit of way to go, maybe. But yeah, Scourge is pretty fun. I've got ideas. Again, not going to give away anything to spoil future specials, but Scourge started off as a really grumpy Scrooge character, and eventually he's warmed up to the cast. He's joined them on missions to save Christmas a few times, and he starts to celebrate. And the thing with Scourge, with Jay Watchcraft, he's the voice actor, Jacob. As soon as I know Scourge is in a story and I write something like cast do some sort of improv speech, I know that's at least an 8-minute improv that I'm getting from Jacob. So if I think the Christmas special can be half an hour, I know it's easily going to be 38 minutes because Jacob, I blooming love your audio. Your improv is hilarious every time, and I pretty much just add the entire improv track. Like it's like a little mini break from the special. Like the special's happening, and then Scourge does his improv, and then it's just like when he talks, you know, okay, I'm just gonna chill for 5 minutes while he talks, and I'm just gonna listen and laugh because he's. Oh man, I love Jacob. Shattered Glass Blaster, his first debut, but I think I developed him quite well. He starts off as pretty. Is a hip the right word? He speaks in slang. He's not inspired by anyone particularly, any culture, or he's not inspired by any person. He's just slang. You know, he speaks in slang. He's a bit of a DJ. He's pretty cool. I remember when I was pitching his personality to Jacob, and Jacob, I hope he doesn't mind me saying, he basically said to me, he was like, okay, so Blaster is a pimp, basically. And I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's not a pimp. Oh, and I do like re-go everything again, like, no, this is his personality. He's definitely not a pimp. He is like a DJ, freelance DJ. He's pretty cool. He just goes whoever pays him the highest. Like, at the minute, he's working for Ultra Magnus because he's paid him. Later on, he realizes Ultra Magnus has cut his profit by 30%, so he's like, I don't care anymore. He just improvs. And yeah, he just sort of improvs his way through life, and yeah, he's just a cool guy. But he also had a little personality, like a sensitive side. You know, in the end credits, Jacob did an improv where Blaster was like, I'm scared of the dark. So he's like a little bit scared. But yeah, he's trying to either renowned DJ, trying to just make profit.
Oh yeah? What are you gonna do?
But he's a complete opposite of Magnus, which I'll get into soon, where Blaster he speaks in slang, he doesn't really care what he says sometimes. But then Ultra Magnus is the opposite, where he's very well spoken, articulating his words. He's like Shakespearean almost, how he speaks, the words, and how he puts his sentences together. But at this point, Blaster, he hears that he wants to destroy Christmas. Magnus does. But Blaster just kind of does the job because he thinks, he thinks, I'm going to survive. But as soon as he realizes he's going to die as well, Blaster's like switching sides, and he's actually a pretty cool guy. And what I like about Blaster as well is there's a bit just before midnight, because it's Christmas Eve right now. And when they defeat Magnus at the end, Blaster's like, you've got a 50% discount rate on my services, Optimus. And he's like, actually, sorry, I meant 15, not 50. And then he quickly goes, offer only valid until midnight tonight. And it's like 2 minutes to midnight. So literally, if they pay him, they've got to pay him within 2 minutes. Otherwise, his prices will be full price. So yeah, as soon as Christmas Day comes in 2 minutes, after they kill Magnus, well, not kill him, but like defeat him, Blaster's just like, if he gets any jobs, he's going to charge them full price. I think this bit here was Jacob did like 3 takes, and I just included them all because I didn't know which one were the best. I cut little bits out, like the start when he's like, "Oh my gosh, what did you just do?" But I just combined them. Like I did the beginning, I combined all the middle, and had one or 2 end takes, and just I loved all these takes. So I was like, I've got to keep these all in. But he's not a bad guy, Blaster. He's a villain, but he just turns to the good side. And it's not about turning every villain good, but it's just about their own personalities. Like, you know, Krampus, we'll get onto him later, but Krampus, you know, was a villain and he's just kind of warmed up, same as Evil Southpaw Santa, who's more powerful than Krampus, but Evil Southpaw Santa with a bit more like easier to get on their side. Krampus had a lot more personal stuff because, you know, he's brothers with Sentinel Prime, the former Santa. There's a rivalry between them, but then there's a rivalry between Krampus and Evil Southpaw Santa. It's a bit of a three-way triangle rivalry, and obviously because you got Sentinel in 2016 teaming up with Optimus and his crew against Krampus, it caused a bit of a drama, but they're all cool now. And this bit here where Mindwipe's taken hostage by Blaster, technically Blaster did that on orders of Ultra Magnus because he's like, you know, let's take a hostage to lure them in. But also it was a bit of an improv by Blaster, like he was in the moment, like he probably forgot that Magnus said, you know, we got to take a prisoner. But Blaster was just like, I'm going to take a hostage. You know, he was so involved in that situation. He was playing it out like an actor, and he was like, I'm going to take a hostage. Oh, wait, I was actually meant to do this anyway. Sorry, I'm having too much fun involved in this. Like, he probably would have shot someone if it came to it. Like shot someone just out of excitement and be like, yeah. Yeah, all this screenplay lines up like when Wheeljack's like, look at page 10. Like, it pretty much is exactly. And there's a bit later on when Wheeljack says, you know, this is going to happen in the next minute or two of real time. And it pretty much is exactly that. The only thing that changes things slightly is if it's an improv and an actor's talked a bit longer than the screenplay would allow. But generally is pretty much page for page, word for word. And it aligns. Chrome Dome misinterpreting everything there, thinking Optimus meant like, I've lost my arm so I can't lift anything heavy. So Mindwipe's personality here, Mindwipe, I didn't really notice this, but I spoke to Endput Reviews and Customs, who voices Mindwipe, a while back, and essentially this wasn't intentional, but Mindwipe's got dumber since the Dracula special, because he started off as one of the boys, and Mindwipe essentially has got to the stage where he's like, just slowly got dumber over the years. I mean, he can't read now. Poor Mindwipe. And essentially, yeah, Dracula scared him so bad he clogged his sewer systems, and then after the Dracula, well, after they beat Dracula's, Mindwipe was still normal, as he mentioned, you know, when they were talking about whose spotlight it should be, he was still normal. But Mindwipe, when he left the hotel, it fell out of his head, his brain, and Dracula picks it up later on. It's kind of coming full circle now, you know. Mindwipe is becoming who he was again. He's gone from one of the boys to a little bit dumber every year, and now he's come full circle back to who he used to be. And it kind of shows Draculus's, I don't want to say kind heart, because Draculus is still a bit of a villain, but it kind of shows Draculus is like, you know, I'm giving you your brain piece back because this is yours. I mean, what's he going to do? Burn it? Like, throw it in the bin? But then he has to keep hold of it and touch it. So he's like, you know, just have it back. And the project is teased at the end of his special, Dracula's Project number 2. So, and this what Sideswipe says, it's essentially in 2016 and 2018. No, 2016 and 18 when they go in Evil Santa's / Krampus's lair, because Evil Santa takes over Krampus's lair anyway in 2018, but they miss all that bit when they teleport into the evil villain's lair. So now they actually know what happened. It just teleports. And Blaster was hiding behind that big building thing there. Funnily enough, Blaster is actually kind of like Ultra Magnus's when it's actually real, when it actually shoots bullets and stuff. And we see Scourge not trusting Blaster here, but Blaster just like, you know, I don't really care. Just do it. Just go past me and stop Magnus. And he's kind of like got his hands up like, you know, peace.
Now the job will come ringing me up up instead anyhow.
Just doesn't care, Blaster. He's still a bit of a tough guy at the minute, but he's warming up to Mindwipe. And yeah, Arnold doesn't speak, but he keeps sticking his middle finger up. So basically, the Arnold toy, it's had this blade that comes out of his hand. It's meant to be like a knife, I think. But it comes out of his middle finger. And even as a kid, I thought that was a bit weird. So now, because he doesn't speak, he just kind of like sticks his middle finger up at everyone. Just randomly, like whether it's the heroes or the villains, he'll just stick his finger up at them as his way of communicating.
I'm so proud of you. Like creator, like.
And you got to imagine while these characters are talking, other characters are fighting Magnus. And none of them are really doing anything. Like, they can't shoot real bullets. They just have plastic guns. They can just try and punch, and that's it. Now, the ones who probably go for them are Optimus, Starscream, Draculus, Grimlock, Evil Southpaw Santa, and Krampus, but they get blasted away because of... Ultra Magnus knows that Krampus, Evil Southpaw Santa are very strong. Not as powerful as him, but still powerful. So basically, whereas Magnus uses physical strength against the other opponents, like Optimus and Grimlock and everybody else, he has to use his bit of like his magical spell powers against Krampus and Southpaw Santa because they kind of top him a bit. Not top him, but they top the others, so he has to use more force, essentially. And then later on, we see him use like the magic powers against a bunch of characters when he's surrounded, and that's just because to show off his power, essentially, his dominance, and he's surrounded, you know. If he gets attacked by plastic figures all at one time, it might take him down for a minute and leave him vulnerable to attack by Krampus or Southpaw Santa or Optimus. So this bit here, I had Jacob's improv first. I mean, I sent Jacob's improv to Input, and Input kind of redid it over his lines. So it's like they're talking. And there's a bit here where Blaster's voice echoes out and Mindwipe just zones out. So I didn't want to basically just cut half of Jacob's line out when Mindwipe is zoning out, because there was some funny stuff. So what I did was, as Mindwipe is zoning out and you hear Blaster's voice in the background, essentially what it is audio that is going to get repeated in a minute. So when he's zoning out and you hear Blaster talking, that same audio that's echoed out is the same audio that Blaster says after Mindwipe zones back in, basically. Or you could look at it the other way, that we see the same clip twice. Once from Mindwipe's perspective of zoning out and not hearing Blaster, and then we see the other perspective of Blaster speaking, and we just sort of see Mindwipe not really paying attention, but we actually hear what Blaster says. I didn't tell them to say any of this. I just said, you know, improv. Yeah, this bit here where he's imagining.
He's still talking to me. I really need to focus on what he's saying. Focus, Mindwipe.
Such a short attention span. I love Mindwipe. Input does it all the time where he just nails the role, and I just find it hilarious. Mindwipe's another one who swears sometimes. But I do like how I did the flashbacks to the Dracula special. I wasn't going to do that originally, but I thought it would add a nice touch rather than just seeing these characters just frame for frame chatting. But when Blaster's doing the Halloween music, I like how the camera shakes a bit, and when he's like, "You're an absolute legend," it shakes again. Crackpot. That's a word, funnily enough, my grandma used to use. She always used to call people a crackpot. And I just always assumed it was like, "Oh, you silly person." And I'm like, you know, that would be a pretty funny thing. I feel like Blaster would say that. But then when Jacob said like, "Oh yeah, you're a crackpot," I agree. I feel like maybe Jacob, all the way in Australia from the UK, you know, he probably knows what a crackpot is as well. I guess maybe his family said a similar phrase. But yeah, Blaster literally knows, like, that is the Dracula. Like, he could just end me if he really wants to. You know those sayings where people remember they have free will and then they can just do anything, like just jump across the room and just do whatever they want, and they remember they have free will? That's essentially what he's kind of saying in my head. It's like, if you remembered he had free will, Draculus could just walk over and kill me for whatever reason.
Pages 13 and 14 will reveal all, probably within the next minute or two in real time.
I just find it funny, originally, like, with these fight, it was going to have it more serious, but then it's pretty funny, and I'm like, you know, I just want them to fight over Jingle Bells. The last time I felt pain was when I gave myself a dead arm. And it's funny because we don't know how old Ultra Magnus is. Like, he's this force that has been combined over all the years. But either the young or, you know, if Ultra Magnus is only a few months old, that meant the last time he felt pain was like a few weeks ago, maybe. Or maybe years ago, we don't know. But yeah, we finally got a character stronger than Chrome Dome. He just pushes his head down and then just kicks him like a bowling ball and knocks the others down and says strike. But the first character to do proper damage is Arnold when he just kicks him in between the leg.
Hey, yo, Mindwipe, brother, you gonna help him, man? Your friends seem like they're in a bit of trouble with my...
Originally, I had what was the song called?
Huh? Oh!
Let me check. I'm gonna have to check the song called. What the song's called?
Not the brightest bulb.
So instead of Jingle Bells, originally, I had
I wasn't always like this. There was a time when I was...
Let's check.
What do you mean?
Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies. I think that was it. Was it that one? I think it was Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies or Waltz of the Flowers, was it? No, Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies, I'm pretty sure. That was a song I had originally playing, and it was basically everyone was going to fight, and it was just going to be this really like classical music that Ultra Magnus hired Blaster to play for him. And it's like everyone's fighting for their life, and Jingle Bells is playing. Like, it's pretty funny. You know, the Christmas specials, although sometimes it's serious, like this one's meant to be a little bit serious, it still makes fun of itself, and that's what I kind of like about it. Like, they're fighting to save the world while Jingle Bells is playing, and then Mindwipe just doesn't care, and then Blaster's like, you know, I'm just gonna chill for a bit while those guys all fight it out.
Possible? I scrapped half my brain out when I took that massive dump? That story not only puzzled me so much, I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
But yeah, Ultra Magnus, like I said, his character is very much more serious, and it's essentially like he hired Blaster to play music while he destroys Christmas. Like, that was it. He just wants some nice music. But yeah, he was this force of everyone's anxiety, fear, anger. Because they say, you know, it builds up and everyone's emotions kind of like affects each other sometimes, like psychologically. Oh, quickly, another reason why this is a song here that was going to play in the other fight scene when Jingle Bells was playing. The reason why I chose Jingle Bells, one, because it was funny, but also because I also had the same song playing on this bit. So it was originally going to be this song, then goes to Mindwipe Blaster, then this song again, but instead it went Jingle Bells, Mindwipe Blaster, and then this song. Sideswipe just throws his gun because it doesn't fire. It's just a plastic gun, so it's like, you know, I'm just going to throw it. Yeah, don't mess with Grimlock, because he ate a ghost. Explain that to me. And that's the sweep in 2022, 3.
Right in the sensitive spot. Oh, do you realize
Sentinel's got 2 backs to worry about now.
these days? Surgery at this rate. I know you didn't kick me.
Megatron, though. Megatron just doesn't do anything. Like, in previous specials, when there's a villain, Megatron just sits back and watches. Like, Megatron does nothing. That's hilarious. Like, he's the leader of the Decepticons in pink pajamas, and he just, Like, I'm just gonna watch.
You can try.
Like, Evil South Pole Santa knows he's not doing anything, so not Evil South Pole Santa. Ultra Magnus knows he's not doing anything, so it's like I'm not even gonna bother with him. I'm gonna focus on all these other guys trying to kill me.
Boys, back, boys.
So this bit here, when Ultra Magnus looks up in fear, is because Sentinel says aim for his back, and he's like, no, not in the back. Like first, first Arnold kicks him in the nuts, then Sentinel does it from behind. And then they aim for his back there, and some of his armor pieces come off. But that was a reference to Bionicle, the Mask of Life. At the end of that film, you get all the Terror put their weapons together, and they create like a vortex rainbowy colored thing. That's essentially what I wanted to do, and I'm like, that would be pretty cool. But then I'm like, how do I explain it? And I'm like, actually, it's a Christmas special. I don't need to explain it. It can just be there because it's funny and it doesn't make sense. Nothing else makes sense in the special sometimes. So, you know, it's like two Santas, two anti-Santas. Just let them do that. And Blaster's transformation sound was the same foghorn sound, just slowed down, I think, or sped up and the pitch lowered. But yeah, when Ultra Magnus gets kicked in the nuts, he switches his crotch piece around to get more armored.
Now it comes to an end. By taking your Christmas matrix and my matrix, I can create a black hole.
So essentially the reason why Ultra Magnus lured everyone here was so he could witness their destruction himself, and he weren't going to leave them on the Earth to get swallowed by the black hole and then wonder, did they get swallowed or did they escape? He knows, like, if he airlocks them out, he's going to see them die. He could have left them there and just let the Earth get swallowed whole, but, you know, he does it for dramatic effect as well. Again, Christmas special. Doesn't matter if it's plot holes or anything, because it makes fun of itself. And yeah, Ultra Magnus, this is his black form of just like the yin-yang, how you have the light and the dark. And this is where we see Blaster sort of turning his personality, and Wheeljack still reading the screenplay, not really contributing, just like studying it. But yeah, so it's like a lot of energy that's just combined over the years, and it's spilled out into the ether. And as I mentioned, Chrome Dome's the only one who didn't really contribute anything. I like this bit here. This bit turned out really well. It's like the ghost, not the ghost, but the energy like just batters him away in slow motion. And then he's just like dead. So that's Ultra Magnus' matrix right there, and then that's Optimus' left hand, the Christmas matrix. And we see basically the Christmas matrix in later when it's actually in his chest. That's his former hand that's regenerated into a matrix. And he gets a new arm, kind of like David Tennant got a new hand in Doctor Who when he regenerated and got it chopped off by the Sycorax. I believe that was episode 1 of it. Yeah, I think it was A New Day, was it called, in Doctor Who? It was series 2, episode 1. I think it was A New Day. No, wait, it was a Christmas special, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a Christmas special for David Tennant's debut episode. I forget what it's called. I don't know. I haven't watched it in a while. Optimus here is kind of dying, but at the same time, he's exaggerating. Like, he's coughing purposely, like, oh, I'm dying. Like, there's a bit later when Optimus, he goes back to normal talking, like, just like, hey, I'm Optimus Prime. Oh, I'm dying. Oh, I forgot I meant to be dying. I like Drift as well in this, not in this, but like his development. He started off very loyal to Optimus, calling him Sensei with respect, and then 1 year after, I think that was in 2017, 2018. 2017, he was very respectful. No, wait. Sorry. 2017, he was respectful to Optimus, calling him Sensei, because that's when Optimus invited every Optimus Prime to replace him at the Christmas party because he couldn't make it because he'd be out delivering presents that year. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. And then the year after, in 2018, when Evil Santa comes, Drift is like, yeah, I don't really care about Optimus. the reason Draculus is here is to give Mindwipe the bill. And it's a summons to court, essentially, because he's suing him. So he needs to... Draculus needs to be here to give him the bill. Because they've been tracking him down all these years, and he could have done it in scene 2 when they were all, you know, after the intro, when they were all talking. But,
We've all done it. Me, Starscream,
you know, in Draculus' mind is like, you know, prioritizing. You know, we've got to actually save the world first, then I'll sort out the bill.
But I'm sure there's more. I blame me
Yeah,
for
Megatron,
getting
Scourge. What about hidden body swapping? He's right in front of you and you don't see him.
And where are they all now? Do you
So Draculus is kind of a villain, but he cares a lot about his hotel. He's a businessman in a way. He's trying to look after his hotel and fix his repairs. Like, Draculus is the victim.
specials 90% of the time? Don't ask me.
This is actually kind of true, though, because after you get a new body, like, Starscream was a little bit absent.
This is why they're ending.
And there's a couple of other characters were a little bit absent, like Megatron. He didn't really have a major role. And if the Christmas specials get reset and Optimus is in his new body and we get new characters, then Optimus gets written out. And it's like, it's true. You get a new body and you get written out. The only one who stayed in is Scourge. I mean, I would say Magnus has got a new body because he gets regenerated and purified, but then he also has his form, his evil form, so he has 3 bodies. Optimus here is saying, like, you know, pray for me. Whatever powers you celebrate, whether it's Hanukkah, the Christian holiday, whatever, you pray for me and power me up. Essentially, God is regenerating Optimus here. So, yeah. So God upgrades Optimus. As egotistical as he is. 963 hertz tone frequency. That is basically to remove negativity, evil. It's like pure tone for positivity. So it rejects Ultra Magnus and negativity. It repels him and pushes him back to his body, so it's easier to defeat. I mean, he gets shot by Magnus when he wakes up. There is a mistake in these shots where Brawn's on the floor. He's meant to be standing up, but I probably just didn't notice in the film. There's a lot of characters. We have Thundercracker and Skywarp, who have new bodies as well. They used to be in their Cybertron bodies. Not Cybertron mode, but their Transformers Cybertron cartoon body figures. They were in that in the Scourge 2020 episode. But Draculus as well. In the Draculus special, he was Count Draculus. And then over the years, I credited him as Draculus. But in this, I put him as Count Draculus because Draculus has gone from the Bonfire Night Halloween villain to Christmas specials. He gets summoned and he don't really like it because it ruins his image. But now he's going from the Christmas back into the horror season. So he's known again as Count Draculus. He's kind of reclaiming his image. And Sentinel's kind of funny because he started off as this really noble Santa, so mysterious that Optimus wanted to learn from him, and now he's just like, I kind of want to retire. Grimlock stayed the same throughout the years. He's kind of just been Grimlock.
Nobody wants to be Santa right now.
Sandstorm started off as a very lone wolf shaman, and he still does shaman every few years, but he is slowly warming up to the Christmas crew, which is why he said that original line when he's like, we got to save Mindwipe because I miss him. Actually, Beacon misses him. He kind of saved himself. Let me find the line. Right. It says something like, okay, so Sandstorm says,
I must change. It is demanded to me by the screenplay.
I like this music as well. So in the screenplay, Sandstorm says, it's after Brawn says we got to go after them. Sandstorm says, agreed. I hate to admit it, but I missed that purple and black bat already. I mean, Beacon misses him already. And then Draculus is meant to say, we're going after him. That bat is paying for that bill, whether this continuity ending, whether the continuity is ending or not. Sorry, I say that again. We're going after him. He means the villains and also Mindwipe. That bat is paying that bill, whether the continuity is ending or not. There will be no escape for him, even in death. Thanatos Prime did suggest doing an alternate take for that, but I never received the line, so that's why I didn't include that line. He goes full on David Tennant here, regenerating. And Sandstorm, he would have said that line when he's like, I miss him, actually Beacon misses him. But I felt it wasn't the right time for him to say that. And whether he does or not, I don't know, but it's kind of like he's warming up to the Christmas crew, but also he's still got that lone wolf about him. I like this shot here. With the music, part of it in space as well, and some of the sound effects, some of the music, I tried to give it a very retro sort of 80s space TV show vibes, where it has this sort of synthetic sort of soundtrack. Steve's characters always sort of remain the same, but he's got his business of his fruitcake, which is blooming. Bumblebee's always sort of stayed the same. He's a bit of a bully, and then he just sort of leaves the Christmas specials and, you know, comes back every now and then when I write him in, and he makes mention of that, like he don't really want to be here. Kind of funny. But Bumblebee's also very insultive. But now at the end, he has to respect Prime because he's like, actually, you know, you've earned this. Evil Southpaw Santa and Krampus, they've both obviously developed from villains. And we see at the end, I'll talk about it at the end when it happens, but we see Krampus and Optimus having a moment. Megatron's always sort of stay the same. Here, this shot here with all the villains, Ironhide, Krampus, Southpaw Santa, and Ironhide. That's all the villains, and it's essentially like a great person once said, the best way to defeat an enemy is to make them your friend. That's a quote I kind of live by. And that was said by Sensei Wu in Lego Ninjago. So Optimus, even though he's a serious person now, he's like quoting Lego Ninjago. What a legend. I really need to finish watching that show. I never finished watching it. But it's really good. It just got too long for me to stick it out. But Ultra Magnus goes somewhere mysterious, back to his sort of wherever he came from, maybe somewhere different. Essentially, Ultra Magnus, think of him like Sideways from Armada. He's part of Unicron, but he's like the Avatar, and he's got this other form, that non-physical entity, like an energy form that he can go into. See Starscream there with his Seekers, and Swindle and Terminator kind of dancing, and everyone doing their own thing. Wheeljack holding his script up. Chrome Dome doing like a press-up position. At the start, if you're wondering, Chrome Dome, Terminator, and Arnold were all doing a plank. See how long they can hold it for. Originally, they were going to push up, but it was going to be hard to animate that with everything else. Again, it's more of a simple animation, this. Scourge doing a headstand for whatever reason, because he just kind of does this weird stuff every now and then.
Just one question.
But yeah, Megatron's always sort of stayed the same. He's just got less involved and more in the background. Like, I just want to be warm with my pink pajamas and apron and clothes. Ratchet is a very shy character, but I've not had a proper chance to develop him. Sentinel, his development is similar, like where he's, I think I mentioned him earlier, where he started off very serious and he's just got kind of a bit, not lazy or selfish, but he's enjoying life. He don't really want to come out of retirement or do anything anymore. And Starscream, similar to Ratchet, he's had his moments, and like Megatron. But that bit earlier where like Optimus says, getting a new body gets you written out of the Christmas specials, and then Starscream says, guess we're just invisible then, because he didn't notice him. And then for one shot later, when we see Krampus, Ironhide, Southpaw Santa, they're all, you know, them together with Draculus, and it's, you know, Optimus says that Sensei Wu quote. That's a bit of an inside joke that Ironhide's there, because it's like, where's Ironhide gone? Where's he been this entire special? I've not seen him. And then when Starscream says, I guess we're invisible then, that's a bit of a joke. Like, Ironhide's not invisible. He's somewhere off camera, but then he just appears like, oh yeah, I guess he is invisible then. It's a bit of a joke. Again, don't really take it seriously. Optimus, I think, has quite a lot of development here. It's a bit of an instant development. Essentially, as soon as Optimus gets regenerated, his ego kind of disappears, and essentially this whole thing of him losing the spotlight, he kind of reclaims it, but eventually realizes, actually, I'm not going to get the spotlight back properly again, not like I used to. And it's essentially, he becomes Santa, Optimus. Instead of him being like egotistical Ego Prime, as I call him, or Egomus Prime, Optimus is now embodying what it truly means to not only be an Optimus Prime character, but also what it means to be a Santa Claus, St. Nicholas. Rather than being egotistical, he's really embodying what it means to be them, and he's had this big epiphany shift, and he's like, actually, presents don't matter, families what matter, and it has this huge impact. And I would like to develop this a little bit into future stories. If I do it, maybe 2026 is the finale. Again, check the live stream below for more details and description. But essentially, it's kind of, again, all these characters are rounding off. Sideswipe is now purified. Blaster had a good one here. Scourge had a good one where he's had this whole redemption arc almost. Mindwipe's characters closing off where he's lost his brain, but now he's becoming one of the boys. Draculus has this whole thing where he was a villain, and then he's kind of helped out in the Christmas specials, but he didn't really like doing that. But now he's becoming Count Draculus again and going back to his holiday. Sandstorm, he was a loner, but now he's slowly warming up to the group. Steve started off as Steve, and he's got a blooming fruitcake business. Evil Southpaw Santa and Krampus, again, they've worked past their trauma with Prime and Sentinel. And Sentinel had the development where he's, got all from Santa to his own retirement, and Optimus from this ego one to well, it started off with Optimus actually just wanting to celebrate Christmas. He was the biggest Christmas fan, and then he became, it's all about me, and then he had the spotlight taken a bit every now and then, and now he's become what it means to be Santa and Optimus Prime.
Pretty sweet deal we all got here. We saved the world, made a new friend, and got ourselves...
So with Krampus, those things on his shoulder, the gas tanks, they're meant to actually be Krampus's horns. I know Optimus, his face sculpt has horns, but Krampus has those huge horn things, and that's what they're meant to be. They're meant to be like antler horn things that go up from around his face with his hind legs. But Optimus Prime, I was talking to Primus84, and I accidentally made Christmas Optimus Prime. You're hearing this correctly. I accidentally made him more powerful than the cinematic universe Optimus Prime that I have, that I'm full on developing. And it's like, what? So these Optimus Prime in the Christmas special is a toy compared to a 28-foot tall Optimus Prime in the cinematic universe who has real guns, real Matrix, real blaster, energon sword, everything. He's millions of years old. Optimus is like 15, 20 years old or whatever in the Christmas special. But because he's been upgraded by God, he has a Christmas Matrix. He's transcended physical form. Optimus can teleport like everyone else in this special, but then obviously that equals to Optimus in the cinematic universe. He can ground bridge, space bridge, whatever, so it's kind of equaled a little bit. This is more of a personal teleportation like Skywarp has. But Optimus can go at supersonic speeds. He can travel the distance of light in Christmas specials now. He's a universal being. He can transmute energy at people by forcing loads of purified energy at them and make them purify evil and purge it from them. He can be in two places at once. So while he's here, he's delivering the presents, but he's also traveling, again, at the supersonic speed. He's slowing time down so he can deliver all the presents around the world while being here in the room. The cinematic universe Optimus Prime can't do that. Like, the fastest he can go is probably like a couple of hundred miles an hour and punch holes in walls. and stuff, and Decepticons.
I've transcended physical.
And he's a really good martial artist. But like this Optimus, he might not be able to fight. He's a plastic toy. You can't punch very hard, but you bet he can teleport. You bet he can slow down time. You bet he could probably shoot a beam at Megatron in my cinematic universe and purify him. Like this, if they're not on the same level, Christmas Optimus Prime, this version of him, is more powerful than the Optimus Prime in cinematic universe. That's a serious story. Like, what have I done? I had an epiphany when I had that, and I'm like, oh no, what have I done? It's funny again. It's a Christmas special. Don't take it too seriously. It's just a load of fun. But yeah. Before this, though, before he gets his new body, he's just a toy. He's not as powerful. But yeah, essentially, a toy has now become as powerful as a serious Optimus Prime. What have I done? And this is Bumblebee recognizing Optimus Prime now. Like, you are Prime now. They're kind of recognizing him as Santa because he's not really done a proper serious stuff. I love how Mindwipe's head just rotates 180 and then he just literally cartoon animation jumps in the air.
Please don't punch me, please.
And I'm really happy how I animated this bit here with the camera angle, the lighting, and how Dracula's hands him the bill. There's a couple of different takes Eli did, Thanasis Prime for Dracula's here, but I like the Underworld take. But I like how he passes it to Mindwipe. Mindwipe takes it off him, he unfolds it, read it, and you can start to see, if you look in the background, his head moving and Blaster's head moving. The animations are much simpler in the Christmas special, but a lot of the time you can see in the background other characters are moving as well, so sometimes it's worth pausing, rewinding certain bits and looking what else I've animated. Sorry, that's my dog in the background. The bit in a minute where Dracula sort of walks away there, when he pulls his cape over him, he's kind of gone from this thing where he's had his cape back and you can see his arms to now he's encompassed by his and kind of closed off with his cape. And essentially, now he's got his back to the camera and we're not really seeing him anymore. We see him walk off in a minute. That's essentially, he's become Dracula again. He's kind of like wafted his cape over the camera lens, as we saw him a moment ago, encompassed and closed himself in his cape, and he's serious again now. He's Count Dracula, so he don't want to be involved in Christmas anymore. He's leaving back to his holiday, his hotel Transformania. If you're wondering what Mindwipe's brain module is, it's a piece of blue tack. But yeah, he's pretty grateful that he's given him his brain back. Essentially, Blaster's the one who has to read the bill and tell Mindwipe what it's about. But now Mindwipe can actually read. He can read it himself. And we'll see in a minute when Dracula is walking away, he's hovering. Like when he looks back, Dracula probably should be further away than he is, but he's walking away, but he's kind of hovering, and he just fades into the darkness again. He's going back to his holiday. He's becoming what it means to be Dracula again. And it is funny that they're both the same character model, Blaster, Mindwipe and Dracula's. There we go. We kind of just see him hovering in the cape floating around. But one thing, it might be to Dracula's disadvantage, but what he wanted to do, Dracula's, was sue Mindwipe for the damages in court. But Dracula's just didn't want to make it a big stupid thing where he takes into court and Mindwipe is in the courtroom just saying a bunch of stupid stuff. You know, Mindwipe's done a load of stupid stuff in the past. We've kind of explored that already. And Megatron right there. Beacon's pinned Megatron on the floor. He, like, piled on top of him. Obviously, Beacon won't be able to do that. Megatron's playing along like, oh, Beacon's got me down, guys. And we can see Brawn riding evil South Pole Santa in the background there. And the funny thing is, that's the first time I think we've ever seen evil South Pole Santa in his alt mode. But yeah, Dracula's, to get back to it, he wants to give Mindwipe his brain module back so he could take the court date seriously. And he could actually put up a good defense. It's kind of honorable for Dracula's to do that a bit. Again, maybe to his disadvantage, because now Mindwipe's back to normal. He can think straight and talk, put a sentence together and actually defend himself in court. But Dracula's wanted it to be serious, not a joke. This is one of my favorite scenes here, where Wheeljack talks to Optimus, because it's essentially like Wheeljack just wants He's materialistic. We see Optimus like, I have everyone, I love everyone, I'm looking at everyone, I'm looking at my family, and I have my gift, that's you. Obviously, he doesn't say that until he speaks to Krampus, but Wheeljack is very much invested in the screenplay, and we see him. Wheeljack is operating from a very materialistic mindset, whereas Optimus is from a more peaceful and family-oriented mindset, and grateful and gratitude mindset, and a praying mindset. Whereas everyone else is all bothered about gifts, and we kind of see the separation of Optimus between him and everyone else. Krampus is one who recognizes this. Sentinel a little bit as well. But it's 10 years. This is on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. 10 years ago since Krampus and Optimus were fighting. And then again in 2016, which was 9 years ago. And Krampus recognizes him, Optimus here, his growth. He knows he's not.
I had not realized it had been 10 years.
Krampus knows Optimus is more powerful. He's actually embodying what it means to be Optimus and Santa. And he's not operating from that ego mindset anymore. Whereas everyone else, like Wheeljack just then, it was. Optimus is just admiring the view of Earth. And I'm really glad the image of Earth I chose is a bit of a VFX from Production Crate. And it's not like a big glowy blue green Earth. It's a bit of a dustier Earth, but a bit of more, I think it just looks a bit more realistic with the horizon a little bit because it's darker and it's nighttime and the sun rises. I use that same Earth image video as what I do in the post-credit scene. When they're all looking and we see the sunrise, that's the same image of Earth, I think. But yeah, Optimus is worrying about Ultra Magnus, contemplating where he is. Krampus is also kind of like, you know, do you think he's going to get us? And when Krampus says, you know, we've got a universal being on our side, he's recognizing Optimus's power now. He's moved beyond what Krampus's power is, what Sentinel's power is. He's moved on he's moved on from what Southpaw Santa, and he even surpassed Ultra Magnus's power. Like Optimus is the most powerful in the Christmas special right now, and Krampus recognized that. And we see Optimus has one last view of Earth, one last view of the cast behind him, and then he turns around, takes one step to join his family, and the camera cuts. We hear Tensei Talala one. That is probably my favorite shot because that's a reference from the original 07 film. At the end, before the credits go, we see Optimus looking at the sunset, and then he kind of turns around and takes a step, and then the camera cuts and it goes to the credits. So that's a bit of a reference to that. So yeah, and the text that we just saw for Frankentron special Draculus #2. It's a bit of a crossover with him and Draculus. It's Draculus 2, but it's a crossover as well at the same time with Frankentron. The colors of the text, I think it was green, black, and red, or yellow, are the same colors as the Frankentron figure. So I'm like, that's a bit of a nice reference. All this end footage was the last footage I captured as well. It was in my room.
Hello, my name is
They're all kind of like lining up to do their bit behind the camera. But yeah.
This Christmas special. If you didn't, then I apologize. Ignore Bumblebee. He is evil. Yeah, maybe he could be the next Christmas villain at this rate. Did I just give Transformers 5000 an improv idea? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Either way, I'm gonna stay away from Bumblebee. And
Yeah.
my back. And by back, I mean the actual back.
None of this was scripted. I just put at the... Let me check. So on the last page of the screenplay, I put... as the credits play out, there's a small box square with each character giving their closing goodbye speech one at a time. So it was really up to the cast members what they want to say, whether they want to do a short one, long one, medium, whatever. And even I just improved everything. Sometimes it's the best way to go and you get the funniest stuff. Scripted humor is funny, but sometimes it's also funny just to do whatever. Oh, the whole thing with Megatron's pink underwear, that was improv.
I meant to say I want more pink pajamas. Yeah, let's go with that. Well, I think I made a mess already, so I'm gonna go. Merry Christmas.
But essentially, you know, that last scene with Krampus and Optimus, I quite like that because we don't really see Krampus and Optimus together. We see them in the same room, but Krampus tends to hang around with like Sentinel and Evil Southpaw Santa, just sort of chill. I also like this bit when Chrome Dome comes on because it plays the in effect "This Is Not a Christmas Song" instantly, and that kind of cuts off the previous credit song and plays out. But yeah, back to that. So Krampus essentially, it's his first time properly kind of approaching Optimus, having a one-to-one conversation with him. Like he approaches Optimus, not the other way around. And it's kind of like Krampus, yeah, again acknowledging it. And Krampus kind of throwing in that humor there. Optimus still can have a good laugh. He's not completely Santa yet. It's about his journey to being Santa and embodying it, but he's definitely changed fairly quickly with the upgrade. But the last bit, when Krampus left, the last line was, I'll leave you to your thoughts, Saint Nick. I had a few alternate takes. One was like, I'll leave you to your thoughts, Optimus Prime, Santa, Santa Claus, Father Christmas, Saint Nicholas, Saint Nick. And essentially what that was because Krampus didn't really take Optimus serious as Santa. And essentially what it was is now Krampus recognizes him as an actual Santa. When he says Saint Nick and walks off, Optimus knows and Krampus both know that they know each other, that they now recognize him as Saint Nick. Not Ego Prime or anything like that. Like even Krampus early in the special said, you know, Optimus, you've got an ego and everything. Yeah, when he was dying. But now Krampus essentially is like, you know, I'm calling you Saint Nick. You have embodied the spirit of Santa, who the previous Santa was my brother, Sentinel Prime. You've embodied his energy now, and I actually kind of respect you now. Krampus years ago when he was a villain would have hated it, but he's grown and Krampus, Southpaw Santa, Sentinel Prime, and Optimus have all put all the past behind them. They're all past it now. They've made peace with it. And again, you know, Krampus is saying, you know, I recognize you as Santa, and I'm going to leave it at that. I don't need to say anymore. You know that by me calling you Saint Nick, I recognize you now, and that's good enough. And then he walks off. And all these end credits here, the credits have rolled, but then I keep putting these messages up like, is this still going on? And then we get Bumblebee pop up twice. One time he says something to me, other time he doesn't. But there are always these messages like, are the credits ending yet? No, they're still going. Wow.
If you want me, Starscream, to be more Christmas specials, comment below, Starscream.
So just as a nutshell for the future, hopefully we're getting Dracula's Project number 2 for next Halloween in 2026. And then potentially a finale for the Christmas Crew in 2026. This, and the mention in the live stream, was the big final fight. And next year, if I do anything, I've got ideas, but it will be a much calmer. It'll be like an epilogue for the Christmas Crew. And whether I put it on a hiatus, whether I continue it, whether I do a reset, or whatever option I discuss, we'll have to see. But I can always pick it up again if I want to. And it's kind of a thing where it's like the Christmas Crew are not just saving Christmas, they're trying to save the continuity now.
The video's ending. Why are you still watching? The credits I can see to my right. They are literally scrolling. So leave. Bye.
This is kind of more Krampus sort of style. Like if you kind of saw him how he is, you just like, go away, guys. Why are you here? Go away. He's more rude and abrupt than like Evil Santa. Evil Santa's kind of like, he didn't like Christmas, but then he's also a bit like a Negan of The Walking Dead when he just emphasizes stuff and he's just like, hey guys, what's going on? He's a bit of a cool uncle. Well, not uncle, but he's just like a cool brother. I mentioned here as well, technically Magnus showing up in this shattered glass here, now it's ended is a bit canon breaking, but it's also kind of funny because it's like the plastic figures doing it, not the character. They're playing the character. So we have two Magnuses, we have Shattered Glass, and then we have Purified Magnus, essentially, like as a toy. But in the story, they're the same character, obviously. But here it's canon breaking, but it's also breaking the fourth wall because it's canon breaking. To get Magnus's voice, actually, so I took Primus H4's lines, I duplicated it into a second layer of audio, and I lowered the pitch on one of the audio. So you had one audio track normal and one audio track below it, which was deepened. And Primus H4 did 2 takes. He did his normal voice, I think, something similar to that, and then he did this more gravelly voice. And the interesting thing that not many people may have realized, when Ultra Magnus gets purified, I use his gravelly voice still, because again, he did 2 takes, one normal, one gravelly. I used his gravelly voice, but I removed the second track where the pitch was lowered. I just had one track where it wasn't lowered, just a gravelly voice, no pitch lowered. So it's kind of like when he was purified, he had the same voice, but he didn't have that depth of pitch. I like when Blastus twists and turns and he literally twists around the camera and turns over. That was pretty funny. Funnily enough, this was one of the most difficult parts of filming, these ending speeches.
I'm only just reading through the script now and it says that this is the finale. Oh, god damn it. Well, I guess if it is farewells for the final time, if you did enjoy this Christmas special, just hit the like button, you know? It always brings a smile to our faces knowing that the videos are loved more than just by simply watching it. And if you did love it and you enjoy Daniel's content, please
Do what Blaster does. Give it a like, a comment, share, subscribe. Always helps the channel out.
the hunger to devour and bring more to his fan base. Please, I'm on my knees here. I'm on my knees praying to God here. I'm praying to y'all. Please. Please save me from this fate of obscurity. I don't want to go by
Kind of near the end now.
I was afraid of the dark.
Also, I forgot to mention, when Mindwipe, before he got captured in scene 2 after the intro,
If I was
when Ultra Magnus teleports behind them, Blaster's like got his back to Magnus and Blaster because he doesn't realize they're there. Like Mindwipe's in his own world. So when they're there talking like, I'm going to destroy Christmas, Mindwipe is literally zoned out, like with his back to Magnus, like, look at that spider in the corner of the room. That's pretty cool. And even when he's grabbed, he's like, bye-bye, everyone. It's like, yeah, okay. And then when Magnus shoots Optimus, he's like, wow, that's a cool special effects. But it's not. It's a real explosion. But it's kind of making fun of it because it's an actual effect, the effects I applied. You know, because in the filming, he didn't shoot him. Nothing happened. But in post-production, I had the VFX, so that's kind of why he's like, cool VFX. Anyway, I don't really have a Christmas speech planned, so Merry Christmas, I guess. Bye.
Goodbye.
And the way I saw the Optimus, like, he was a little bit like David Tennant when he regenerated, and then when he came back, he was trying to embody Matt Smith.
I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me that you have watched all these years.
And this is kind of Mindwipe back to how he is now. One of the bros.
Sorry, I gotta into one day. So I gotta make this quick. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, bye, everybody.
There was another take he did, or input, and it was like he's going to be in the blooper reel, but he kind of goes like, goodbye, everyone. Bye, 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 bye. And even input was like, I don't think that sounds like Mindwipe. It would have sounded like the old Mindwipe, but not the restored Mindwipe.
Retiring from the Christmas special universe on this channel. There's been a lot of fun throughout the years, but I feel like it's time to move on with my life.
So yeah, right now everyone's obviously after the credits. Everyone's celebrating Christmas. The cast. The characters, I mean, you know, Optimus walked towards a Christmas tree and then they're all doing these improvs.
This is actually it.
This was a really nice message from Jacob. I really appreciate it. When he's like, it's always a pleasure doing these. Like, that means a lot, Jacob. Thank you. I don't know if you're watching this. If you are, leave a comment, please. I mean, I know you've heard it, but yeah.
Coming from my debut, I never thought I would become a reoccurring character in this. I thought I'd just be a one-time gag. Yeah. But here I am. An actual
Yeah, Bumblebee typed that. Don't blame the actors, guys. Bumblebee typed that.
It has to come to an end.
You're so rude. I took a break from writing the credits, and Bumblebee came and literally typed blame the actors for all these long improv credits. So I had to like fix it because I don't think I could remove it. He locked it somehow. I couldn't undo the editing, so I had to just let you know that Bumblebee did that.
For the best.
You're so rude. Who voices Bumblebee? Let me check the script. Transformers Fan 5000 voices Bumblebee. Let's just ignore that. I don't know who that guy is. Never heard of him before. Who is he?
The memories that I have shared.
Hey, it's Bumblebee.
This band of
Can I insult the audience? No.
It is always
Go away, B. Go away.
despite
Just
my
go. Take Krampus's advice, Bumblebee, and leave. Yeah, leave, B. Let him record.
situations, but
Is this commentary now canon to the Christmas special universe, or the characters are going to? I mean, I'm talking in third person right now as Krampus, but are we as a cast going to reference this director's commentary in the next Christmas special? This is what Krampus sounds like without his voice changed. Speaking of the change of voice, years ago when Krampus debuted, his voice was very deep. Like, it was that sort of same voice, but I lowered the pitch even more. I knew like this. And you couldn't tell what he was saying.
may return.
I just wanted a very demonic. And over the years, as he's lightened up, I've lightened the pitch where you can tell what he's saying, but I still add subtitles. There was 1 or 2 years when I didn't, but probably should have had subtitles.
To all that watch this video, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And I just got a text from my mum saying in the next 40 minutes at 5:30 p.m, Father Christmas is coming on the road. Yes, from the North Pole. Not the Optimus Father Christmas, the real one. He's coming to my road on his sleigh, going to drive past on the road. Sometimes they come and sometimes they just drive past and don't stop. It's nice when they stop and you can actually like wave at them. It's always nice. I used to do that as a kid. Go up to the actual sleigh that basically, some people, obviously, Father Christmas come in, they had a sleigh. It was like an actual car with a tow truck. And the tow truck was dressed up as like a sleigh, and they kind of went around for charity and stuff like that. And I think they gave little gifts out to kids and stuff. And you could go up on, when they drove on your road. Sometimes they don't come, but it's nice when they do. So this is completely off topic to the Christmas special. I've said all I want to talk about with the commentary, as far as I know. I'll probably remember something after I've recorded, but yeah, I'm just going on about my personal life here. As a kid, and yeah, so Father Christmas is coming on the road in the next 40 minutes. Got to look out for him. So this is what Optimus is saying when it's like this threats potential. This is potentially in future stories, like potential threats. Potential, maybe not certain, but potential. So he's keeping it quiet from the rest of the crew because he don't want to panic them. Again, new Optimus. And I love how he's got these like ab grills now. Like I'm strong now. Yeah, 20 minutes of end credits. And the credits and the songs in these credits, you can't really hear them though in the background. But Blaster with his DJ skills put this track together. So that's his personal playlist that he refers to in the story. The stronger this universe connection is. This is not a Christmas song is one of them. So yeah, go spread some love and some joy this holiday season. I had the same credits in the background with this swirling Christmas tree. I think it was red last year, and I had a similar thing with the credits rolling on the side next to the Christmas tree. This, one of my favorite shots. I'm going to pause it in a minute. I'm just going to let it play. And then we see thank you. So that is my director's commentary. And this sort of final shot here. So I watched Superman in cinemas this year. I think everyone did. It meant a lot to me, that film. As soon as it came out, like digitally, I got it. What you see here is spoilers alert for Superman. Okay, spoiler warning. There's a post-credit scene in Superman where he's sat on the moon. I think it's a moon with Crypto the dog, and he's watching Earth. This is a reference to that. This is what I put in the screenplay. Every character here is a character. Every single one here has appeared in my Christmas specials, whether it's for a frame, for one shot, or whatever. They're all here. Every single character ever in the specials is here. Try to get as many of the characters to be a part of the story in here, whether they're background or not. But all these characters are characters. You can sort of pause it on the main video where it's 4K to see it more. We got both Ultra Magnuses. So we got the Shattered Glass and the normal, just for, again, a fourth wall joke. Got Dracula's to the top right, floating. We got Beacon next to the reflector to his left, floating. We got the Sweep, the transparent, ghostly, glowing figure, because he's kind of dead, but he's still there. He's still alive in a way. We got Omega Supreme's leg, because Omega Supreme, you might be like, where did he appear? So in the Dracula special, when everyone comes home at the end, I film my room, and basically you see in the background, because Omega Supreme was just displayed in my room. Omega Supreme is like standing next to Optimus. He wasn't intentionally part of the characters, but he was there. So I'm like, he's a big character. Let's just have his leg. I upscaled his size here, but just to fit it in the frame. But yeah. You may wonder if you've got Eagle Eye, we see Bumblebee at the bottom, but there's another Bumblebee to the right where Swindle Crowbar is. We've got another Bumblebee. We've got the reverse colors Bumblebee from Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise between RC and Knockout. There's like 3 Bumblebees. There's the Rude Bumblebee, there's a Transformers Prime Bumblebee, there's the Last Night Bumblebee who showed up in 2021, I think, in my garden at the end. They're just kind of chilling. Then we've got like all the Earthrise Seekers. That's a different Starscream. That's not the same Starscream. We've got a Soundwave. We've got a Starsaber and Victor Leo, because they showed up again randomly in 2022 at the end, just to sort of, because I had that figure that year. That's when it came out, and I want to just have it in stop motion, even if it's for a little bit. Just celebrating Christmas. We've got Sandstorm Meditating. We've got the Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Yet to Be, which is Wheelie there, Hound, and obviously Optimus. We've got a couple of different Optimus there. We got the Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Optimus, the Beast Hunters Optimus. We got Battle Blades Optimus, kind of like Cinematic Universe Optimus, essentially. Basically, all these Optimuses who appeared that Optimus invited in 2017, when Optimus invited all load of Primes in my collection. I tried to get as many of them out of the box as I could. I couldn't get them all. Like the Creo one, I would have had to build together. And for other personal reasons, I couldn't get those figured out of the boxes. But what I did was I paused that a few images, still images, where you had every single Optimus Prime in my collection. These aren't every Optimus Prime, it was just what was in the shot. But I paused the frame and that I masked out every single Optimus Prime figure. And although they're facing forward towards the camera, because I didn't get one from the back, unless I took a new photo, but again, I wasn't able to do that. They're still there. They're kind of like got the sunset from behind. Cool guys have explosions and stuff going off behind them. They're not looking at it. So they're all facing the frontward, but they're all there. So every character here is essentially, there. We've got 2 RC. We've got the Prime RID RC, and we've also got the KO 2007 RC there. Got Jazz there, got Astro Train, Skids and Mudflap at the bottom. A couple of different Cliff Jumpers, Prime, Robots in Disguise, Cliff Jumper, and we got Earthrise there. Again, different characters. Same characters, essentially, but it's different versions. You know, like Toy Story Buzz Lightyear. In Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear thinks he's Buzz Lightyear, but then they go in the toy shop and they see that there's loads of Buzz Lightyears. And Optimus Prime, Christmas Prime in the middle there, not center stage for once, intentionally like that. Breakaway, bottom right, because he showed up in 2011, the first Christmas special, just as a background character. Had no voice, just sort of chill there. And we had Skywarp, Thundercracker in there, their new bodies, and Lockdown, because originally Harrison Gottfried was going to voice him, but unfortunately couldn't commit, which is fine. But they still sort of showed up in case he decided last minute he wanted to voice them. But yeah, that's all the characters I'm kind of noticing just off the bat. There's a lot of them. I think there was like 90 characters. I might be wrong, but yeah, I got Megatron in his pink pajamas as well at the bottom towards the left. Brawl, top right, sort of top to middle. And we see Brawl. It don't look like Brawl, but he's got all his guns tucked away because it's Christmas and he don't want any violence. So yeah, I'm happy with this. So I hope you are too. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you, I've got the longest blooper reel I've ever done at 20 minutes. That's coming out soon, if not already. Depends when I schedule the uploads. But again, in the description below, you will find a link to my Discord. You will find the End of Days Part 2. You'll find the Christmas special this year, what I've released, what you can watch now, which is this video. But obviously, you can pay attention to what's going on if you haven't seen it, or if you want to rewatch it. And also the live stream I did about the Christmas special then, and that's in the description. Just a couple of final notes as well with this. You can actually see the Fallen, who showed up in 2014, I think it was. Characters like the Refractor, Crowbar, they showed up in the Chrome Dome / Arnold Schwarzenegger mini short video I did. Rodimus shows up there, Kingdom Rodimus, because of he was the Masterpiece Rodimus, but he broke, so it's like he's got a new body now, so that's same Rodimus. Who else? We got Prime Robots in Disguise and Prime Beast Hunters Magnus. Again, they're both different characters. We've got Siege Sideswipe, that's a different Sideswipe. And we've got my two customs. So if you look where Rodimus is, above him is a Dread. And if you look where Prime RD Magnus is, between him and Transformers Cybertron Optimus Prime, with another Dread there. They're both customs who showed up in 2024 Christmas special, I believe it was. That's their only appearance. And they were just background characters, but again, they appeared, so I wanted them in there. And someone else I just saw, where is he? Trigger Happy's there as well. Trigger Happy showed up in the Arnold Schwarzenegger mini episode. Where has he gone? Okay, Steve is where Astro Train Bumblebee is. Steve is just above him. It's not Viacon, it's Steve. So I don't really have Viacons in my special universe. Where is it? I'm trying to look for a specific character. Okay, there he is. Where Shatterglass Magnus is, between him, Soundwave, and Starsaber. Probably could have edited this a bit more clearly, but that is the original Frankenstein monster. In the 2020, I keep saying 2020. In 2015, when Krampus comes, they're telling spooky story at the start, and it's like Starscream and Knockout are telling a spooky story about like putting a monster together, Frankenstein. And that right there, where Magnus, Shatterglass Magnus, Starsaber, and Soundwave is in the top middle, that is the original Frankenstein monster. If you go check out the 2015 special, you'll see. But that's him there. So he's still there. He's still alive. So yeah. So even though that was like an imaginary scene, he showed up and he's here. So he's kind of canon. Maybe that little Frankenstein bit actually happened and Starscream was just telling a true story. Maybe it wasn't fictional. Protoform Optimus as well there. Yeah. Long Arms there as well because he showed up in 2014. Sandstorm, different Sandstorm, but Earthrise Sandstorm, Generation Select Sandstorm. He's a different Sandstorm to the Sandstorm in the actual series. You know, the Shaman. He's a different version as well. I mean, if you have any questions about whether the characters are the same as others or whether they're different bodies or whatever, just let me know. But thank you so much for everyone who's commented. Please do share it further. It would be awesome to get this Christmas special to 1,000 views, maybe more. We'll see. But thank you very much. Links below. And I am going to get a drink now. And I'm going to see Santa. Santa's coming to town, everyone. Take care. Have a Merry Christmas. And have a Happy New Year.